Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Yeah, like right there.
Yeah. What was there?
Inside the trenches.
Oh, I heard it.
Mic check. 1, 2. Yep. Yeah.
Inside the trenches.
All right.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Well, hello, somebody. It's time to move your body. It's Inside the Trenches. We're live here on ESPN Baton Rouge's live YouTube channel. Thank y'all for tuning in each and every week, 6:30 p.m. right here at the Loyola Studios. And we do have a good show for y'all today. I got my co-host in the building, CL Nola. He rolling. Little Chris, I think Little Chris is on 4th of July vacation. Shouts out to our guy, Chris.
You on vacation, boy?
Yeah, man, you know my boy got to go on that good old vacation.
With a smile on his face.
Well, y'all, I want to give a big shout out. I spoke too soon. Little Chris is actually in the building. He's matching with his big brother, Chris. They both got on Pelicans gear. So little Chris is actually in the building to give his 1-2 on our topics today. Before we get started, I want to give a big shout out to all of our sponsors. Our sponsors for the Concord Sports Camp, Falcon Law Firm, along with Triangle Deli. Want to give them a big shout out for all that they've done for the show. In addition to that, we want to thank Robert Wolfe Construction and Real Estate. Robert Wolfe, the one-stop shop for home elevations. Y'all know these storms get crazy. I told y'all we had snow last couple months ago, so
Yeah.
it's no joke. So hit them up. We expecting a very active. I think there is something in the Gulf right now. Hurricane season. You want your house elevation. Keep your family safe. Y'all can visit them. Go pull up on them. Pull up on them.
Oh,
Let them know that Big Fave and the crew over here at Inside the Trenches over at Loyola sent y'all on over there. It's 143 Lapalco Boulevard for our locals. And if you're in the Baton Rouge area, you want to rock with my man Rob. He had his license throughout the state. His company. You could call 504-392-2445. And a big special shout out to Health Nut System.
Definitely.
Dr. Kendra, she's hooked us up, getting us right for the summer. Y'all see them pecs working, baby. Definitely, I gotta appreciate her for all the nutrients and vitamins we need. See it.
I'm gonna just put a little shoulder in.
Y'all visit www.stillbody.org. Check out her products. I'm on the 360. She'll be having those deals going right now. The Speed 360, 365. I always say 360. Sorry about that, Doc. 365. Right. as every day of the year, baby. And big shout out to Conquer Sports Pros as well. All right, fellas. So I feel like now that the NBA Finals is over, and big ups to OKC. They got the job done. They won it all, rightfully so. It was a really good finals. It went 7 games. I mean, we couldn't ask for more, fellas. With that being said, I think people are excited for this NFL season and college football. Now, there is a little bit in between we're going to touch base on. We're going to touch base on the BIG3 on that league. And, hey, the WNBA rolling right now, so that's all gravy train. So we're going to talk a little bit of college football to start the segment off. And then we're going to talk about LSU in its own category. I mean, it's Baton Rouge champion town, baby. So shouts out to all of my folks out there in Baton Rouge. We're going to talk about that.
Right.
And later on in the show, we'll be joined by Raj Smoove, the greatest DJ in the world. DJ Raj Smoove.
Oh, boy.
Stop by and talk to us about a couple of projects he got going on. So we're excited to have him. So CL, it's here, man. The college talk time is now.
Yeah.
We want to start to look, the Manning's passing camp was this past weekend. Nussmeyer was out there lighting it up. Let's start with the quarterbacks, guys. They were looking over Shedora and Will Howard and all those guys from this past class because, we don't need to worry about the quarterbacks. The really good quarterbacks, the full classes, this class, Drew Alt, Arch Manning, we talked about Gary Nussmeyer. CL, we'll start off with you first. And we talk about Raj Smoove, the greatest DJ in the world. Well, this is the coolest co-host in the South of the Dixie. CL NOLA giving his takes each and every week here on Inside the Trenches. CL, let's go ahead and talk about it. No argument at all. Okay.
Well, no, I'm saying no argument about the greatest co-host.
Oh yeah, that's to go without being said. But
yeah,
I mean, we can get to the subject later on that. Hey, y'all hear that? All y'all folks out there looking for the awards of best team. Y'all see it right here, baby.
Ain't got no argument for me. But yeah, shouts out to the Manning family. Shouts out to Thibodeau for hosting the Manning camp every year. It gets bigger and better every year. Shouts out to the New Orleans Saints rookie, Tyler Shuck, which is the first guy to actually return, besides the actual Mannings, first pro quarterback to actually return to the Manning camp. He was formerly a counselor, the years before. Now he's, fortunately with the Saints, and he went back to show love in Thibodeau. I still need to see more film as far as this year quarterbacks, guys. We know Arch is all world. We even know Arch is even fast on the game. I just need to see him a complete season. Nussmeyer, we know he could possibly be running for the Heisman this year if all goes well in Baton Rouge. And, of course, New Orleans loves Baton Rouge. And we're always waiting to see what the Tigers are gonna do. So Nussmeier, I'm sure, was a big draw, and especially for the younger kids, right? That he plays on Sunday nights in Tiger Town, but at the same time he's still touchable, and we're still able to reach out and talk to him and get heads up from him because he is showing up at the Manning camp in Thibodeau. So I'm sure that does a massive thing for the kids, thought process. So shouts out to all those gentlemen that showed up. I don't need more tape on Nussmeier, but I would love to see him with the weapons that he has this year in LSU.
Chris, I got to come to you next. I don't think you're going to disagree with Big Chris, but I do think
I need that
you
hat
could
too.
get. Oh, that hat hitting, boy! Look, he pelican out. I'm the only outcast here. I'm the only one representing.
Don't
the
leave
Tigers.
it in the studio.
I'm gonna rip my shirt off like Coach O.
Yeah, Coach O got ripped off the day itself.
That's my dog. Shouts out to Coach O. But when you look at this year's quarterback class, they have some big names. Obviously, they spoke highly of this class in this past draft. Who sticks out to you?
Who sticks out to me? I do like the talent of Arch Manning. He could run, he could throw, he has a rocket of an arm. When he was in high school at Newman, he could throw the ball 70+ yards in the air. Like, there's not a lot of high school quarterbacks that could have done that. Like, that's absolutely crazy. So, and I agree with you. I do need to see a fully complete season with Arch Manning. So I think that's the only thing with that. But he is a very talented quarterback. And Garrett Nussmeier, I do like him too. Sometimes I might call him the next Joe Burrow. We'll see about that, though. We'll see about that. But I think he could, contend for being the Heisman this year. Absolutely, with the weapons he got and the offense he's in.
Now, when you think of quarterbacks and you look around the surface of the guys who names ring a bell, the number one guy on a lot of folks' lists is Cade Klubnik. I hope I'm not butchering his name as much, from Clemson. He's basically, when you talk about Arch, when you talk about Gary, he's right there in that conversation. Absolutely. A lot is going down this season opener. It's Gary versus Cade for the throwdown. And I think that game early in the season the tell of a lot of the quarterbacks and where we at with it right now. Another thing I wanted y'all to pay attention to, we talked about Drew Alt, but DJ Lagway from Florida. You start talking about Lenoria Sellers from South Carolina. Correct. These two quarterbacks, when you start looking at impact quarterbacks like Jalen Monroe, you look at what Cam Newton was able to do when he was in college. I think of Norris, Sellers. Just us playing against them last year. I mean, he doesn't get hurt. In that game against us last year, we could be looking at something different at LSU.
He was incredible in that game last year.
He really did set the tone, and need to say there's still a Carlson Beck out there when you start looking at top 10 quarterbacks coming up this football season. So I think that is really interesting. If y'all are just tuning in Inside the Trenches, we're having a conversation here about some of the top quarterbacks in this year's upcoming season. This past NFL draft, it was a lot of commentators, a lot of analysts, not talking about the lack of talent in the class of 2025, which is 2024 season, quarterbacks, 2025 drafts, and all the guys that they're going to have quarterbacks fall off like crazy in the next year. So I just thought going into this season, to pay attention to that. Now I want to switch gears a bit, y'all, and y'all feel free to chime in as well. Y'all can hit us up right here below the show. Make y'all's comments on the Baton Rouge's ESPN Live. We love to look at the comments, and even if it's some subjects y'all would like to hear us talk about, feel free to mention it as well. In addition to that, when you start looking at teams that are potential sleepers, what I mean by that is it's always, we know right now Ohio State, Penn State, we've heard, basically you look at teams like, Penn State coming back, Texas, they just going to walk to the national championship, walk to the college football playoffs. But, there's still a Georgia out there. There's still an Alabama. When you still look at college football, the college football surface as a whole, you still have Georgia being mentioned, despite the loss. I mean, you look at this past NFL season, the Super Bowl champs were the Philadelphia Eagles. That had a lot to do with, what was them able to just cakewalk that game.
Right.
And according to, I'm looking on SportsIllustrated.com, you got LSU right in the mix with these teams. They're at 7. So, CL, when you think about sleeper teams that could compete for, let's say, be a contender for the national championships, that means you got to make it to the top 12.
Top 12, I could jump in now. Competing for the national championship, I won't be lazy on y'all and say the people that we all already know of, but sleeper team in New Orleans, Baton Rouge, don't kill me. Texas A&M with Marcel Reed at quarterback is very interesting to someone like me. Obviously, we saw what the dual-headed quarterback did to LSU last year. I think they're gonna feed off of that. I think they've grasped some type of momentum off of that, beating LSU at Death Valley. I think they just feel like they can do it. Just being a little bit older, a little bit wiser, having a little more experience, a little more depth. Because I'm sure they structure their roster to be able to try to compete or beat a team like a LSU or an Alabama. So I don't see Texas A&M being that far away.
Chris, your thoughts?
That's a good one. And for me, I'm going to either go with these two, South Carolina or Florida. And actually, I'm going to go with Florida for sure. Because
Florida.
I do like DJ Lagway. And I actually went to his bowl game last year when they played Tulane.
Okay.
they absolutely smacked Tulane. That was crazy. But in DJ Lagway, I like his upside. And I feel like he should have a better year or two with Florida. And I think they can finally be on the rise again. Florida Gators.
Florida Gators.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this is what I'm going to do, right? I'm going to go on and say LSU is the team. I'm going to mention that, but I'm not going to dig into it because that's very cliche. I'm going to go with the Tigers. But I think I'm going to stick in the SEC and go with Georgia. I think Georgia is a team that in the last 2 years they kind of fell off of that conversation. But Kirby Smart has always been known for defense, and I think with the proper running game, they've been doing exceptionally well in regards to, staying within the pack. And it's the East. Now, I do think that the East is a lot more competitive this year versus previous years, right? Florida's making more noise. We saw what South Carolina was doing, so the SEC in itself is competitive. But Chris, you made a good point with Texas A&M, and I'm just taking a look at their schedule. They play
Check them out
of the conference. They play Utah State. They play Samford. The games aren't
Samford in Alabama.
Right. Not in the beginning. They do play against Notre Dame again, if I'm not mistaken.
And believe it or not for us to be too SEC heavy, because obviously we are the South. We're force fed SEC ball for the best reasons, of course, because it's the best level of football. But I won't be too scared to mention Notre Dame this year as well.
I was thinking them too.
Yeah.
And it's not because
so.
It's not because Ryan Clark's father just fixed me some red beans and fish.
There you go.
I believe in
Jordan Grandpa.
Thank it,
There you go.
And thank you for the Clark family for the hospitality. I definitely think that they've learned their playoff experience. I think put them on another level because nobody really, well, I won't say nobody, not many people thought that Notre Dame would be able to compete with the Ohio States and the LSUs and obviously the creme de la creme. And they showed different. They actually showed different. I'm impressed by their head coach.
Absolutely.
And in life, you don't learn by wins. You learn by failures. So I think the failure of Notre Dame losing in the playoffs is the catalyst to bring them right back. And you say top 12, I could easily see them in the top 12.
I did say top 12, and I do believe we will have a handful, or at least have SEC teams in there. So us
Yeah.
mentioning teams like LSU, Texas A&M makes sense.
Mm.
But when you look at just across the board, like preseason contenders, automatically Penn State falls in the category because they have the most balanced roster, right? I think Coach Franklin has done well recruiting in this area, and they've been in the conversation in terms of playoffs for a minute now. You look at a team like Texas, they are a huge storyline because of Arch Manning.
Of
He
course.
got an exceptional amount of playing time last year. They're handing the Ferrari keys over to him. They're going to have weapons. They're going to have a defensive threat. It is what it is. But for us down here in the Bayou, Coach Kelly hadn't won a season opener
And since his time
since
here.
he's been in LSU.
Yeah, since his time here.
And I start to look at this Clemson's defense, right? And where our speed matches their depth, right? You got guys like TJ Parker coming back on the line, Peter Woods, through the transfer portal, they was able to bring in Will Heed. So I think when you look at what they were able to do inside the trenches and some of the starters they got coming back, LSU go out there, let's say, for instance, we go out there and we win by 2 sandwiches, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's I would Roman harp on what he said on the SEC Network. That puts us right there, Chris. That puts us right where we need to be on a national stage.
The stage is set. I think everything is set for not only just the SEC. I think the stage is set for LSU. When you think of LSU, you think of them dominating the offensive and defensive line. Well, the old days of LSU.
Mm-hmm.
You think of the new years of LSU, you think of offense just out the wazoo. You know, you have a Joe Burrow, his second year, offense goes crazy. He wins the Heisman.
Yes.
Mr. Daniels, his second year, number
Wins
one
Heisman.
offense in college football, goes crazy. He wins the Heisman. Is this the lead up to a Nussmeier year? Because I still don't think we mention enough about the depth at wide receiver that we have at LSU.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Going forward. And I just don't see too many teams keeping up with them, knowing that Nussmeier is primed for a true season this year. And I just don't think the SEC has enough to cover, especially if their offensive line shows up and holds down the fort.
Chris?
Ooh. And LSU's offense, they should be spectacular this year. No questions about it. And hopefully this is the year Brian Kelly can exceed, because he had, like you said, he hasn't won a season opener. He hasn't been to the SEC championship game yet. He hasn't been to the college football playoffs yet. Can this be the year? Finally, only answers will tell.
Hey, answers.
Is Coach on the hot seat this year?
I agree.
I think.
I will agree.
Well, based off of entry, he's okay. You know, you come there, you have a Heisman Trophy winner at quarterback. You go to
Number
the
one
SEC
offense.
West. You lose to Georgia, but you make it there. I think his biggest Achilles heel is the season openers. Like, because LSU balls mid-season.
Right.
Like, we'll beat Ole Miss. We'll have a major SEC win. We struggle with Alabama.
Yeah.
But in his first year, LSU's first major win since the national championship at home, Alabama, Mason
Correct.
Taylor. You know, so he's – and I always tell this to people, it's about your support staff as well.
Sure.
Yeah, true.
Like, you got to be able to have a staff that's top-notch. And he was able to do that. You know, from a defensive standpoint, having Coach Baker in the building, I talked with him a little bit a few weeks ago. He's excited about the team. You know, this guy's out there, got the little sleeves cut off. He out there with
Screaming
him.
at everybody.
You're right. I mean, he's around my age. So, you know, you have a young coach, enthused. This is his second trip. We talked about Clark. You know, Damone Clark, his time having him his first go-round and how he helped develop him into the linebacker that he was. That's the defensive coordinator. I told you how I feel about Kyle. You know what Corey Raymond brings to the table. I had my Baton Rouge class out at Elite last Saturday, 8 a.m. I'm rolling in there with my high school kids that's enthused. Shouts out to them. But I saw starters, second string guys, freshmen, LSU DBs getting that early work in the morning. Away from this ain't because if we go to the school, that's mandatory,
Right.
right?
Off campus, it's all on you, Bill.
Yeah, you gonna get up 8 o'clock on Saturday morning to get this extra work in. Not every DB was there, but that's the type of team chemistry LSU. And I'm just talking about the defense, an area over time we want to see develop.
Right.
Now on the flip side, offensively, I mean, there's some running, there's some track stars.
So fast. So fast.
Speed is what it is. So I'm extremely confident about this LSU football team. If y'all just tuning in, baby, it's Inside the Trenches. We live here on LSU Go Tigers on ESPN
Tigers.
Baton Rouge's live YouTube channel. Y'all feel free to like and subscribe to this page as well. For all the highlights from this show, y'all could go to Inside the Trenches with Marlon Favorite. Check it out. Y'all want to see CL go viral. Talking about Cooper Kupp, the Dallas Maverick that we knew he was going to be. Y'all could go on there and check it out. And
I think it worked out for us, though.
Yeah, no, boy. What we're gonna talk about? We're gonna talk about. Y'all stick around a little later. We're gonna talk a little basketball.
We ain't Pelle Pell all of a sudden. Now,
And look what they got on. Check
well, I'm
the
Pelle
setup.
Pell all year, but I think y'all get the vibe that's been churning in the state of Louisiana.
That's right. And y'all also stick around because we'll be joined by Raj Smoove, the greatest DJ in the world.
Oh, boy.
Talk about a couple projects he have out, artists he work with, events he have coming up. I look forward to catching a ride. We hadn't talked in a minute. So fellas, all right. As we get ready to wrap this segment, I was just online. Y'all know me. I'm over here on the computer like we're in the newsroom.
Right.
And I'm just kind of looking at, I'm on, shouts out to SaturdayDownSouth.com. I was looking at their post SEC predictions of, who are the top ranked teams post spring. Everybody who's been around college football enough, or if you played it on at some time at some level, a team post spring tells you a lot. That team post spring is like, all right, these are going to be the starters. These are your projected starters. These are the guys who, after they did real football, after conditioning, these are the guys that are standing out like sore thumbs. So that's what this is based off of. The first team that's mentioned on here is Texas, rightfully so. Coach Steve Sarkisian has proven himself year in and year out. Although it was a fumble, well, I'm not saying a fumble, a couple of bad decisions against Ohio State.
Yeah.
But hey,
For the most part, they won the SEC first year. Right?
Yeah, I mean, they
got to give them that.
And you got to give them their credit. You have, Matthew Golden gone. Luckily, the Saints got Kelvin Banks Jr. So they're losing a lot of key starters. But
sure.
I mean, they got the portal and all that good stuff.
True.
So they did
the money. They might have the top NIL limit if there isn't even a limit.
Oregon.
Yeah, well,
It's between them two.
Having Philip
It's
Knight
between
as
them two.
alumni is cheating, and it's in Oregon. Like y'all know, Nike's headquarters is in Oregon.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true.
Yeah,
like
and I
cheating
mean, the
almost.
man said, hey, I got unlimited NIL. But the challenge, though, right? You got the dogs. This is football we're talking
Yeah.
about.
Right.
I got my little cousin out there playing for Oregon. But it's hard to get the players from down south to say, I'm going to go to Oregon. Now, money talks. Y'all know Bullshit. Walker, hello, a couple miles there.
And 21 different uniform combinations also kind of get you over there, too. Now.
Yeah, you got Drake pulling up to the Nike factory,
They get out.
But Texas is down south. So that's what I mean. Think about it.
Way down
LSU, we do what we got to do in the portal, and we make it attractive for the players to come there.
Yeah.
But ain't nothing like playing down south, man. It's nothing like
Ooh.
the smell of that good old Southern barbecue.
No vinegar.
No vinegar. But as we wrap here, you have LSU too after spring. And, these different entities, they go online, they have folks go to these spring games, they get reports. And this is how it's coming back, and there's Georgia and Ole Miss. than Texas A&M. But
Mm.
LSU, to answer your question, I don't think it's a championship or bust, playoff appearance or bust thing for Coach Kelly. I just think it's can you keep this team healthy enough? It's key players to roll with it, Chris. That's why I really think it is.
Is he still the head coach if he loses the opening game?
Mm.
If we don't make it to the playoffs?
Mm.
If the bowl game is in Shreveport?
Mm.
Oh, Lord. I hear where you're going.
Absolutely. I would say absolutely not. Absolutely not. He should be gone if that's the season we have.
Woo. And I don't think that's the season that we'll have.
No.
I'm just trying to put his position as the head coach of LSU. Because the one thing I know about the great people of Baton Rouge, they don't deal with disappointment for too long. They got to do something about it. We know that Lobdell Bridge, it gets a lot of traffic from time to time. They'll go around if they have to, but they won't stay stagnant for very long in Baton Rouge. So I was just curious as a member of the media. I just was curious how much time you think he has.
I mean, I give it enough time. I think if you look at between this season and another season, if it stays, then the conversation starts. But I mean, y'all gotta realize that was a 10-year contract. It is inside the trenches, baby. We live right here. Got y'all going rolling, baby, on this Monday Fun Day. That's right. We do it every Monday, 6:30, right here on your new favorite YouTube channel, right here at ESPN Baton Rouge, 104.5 FM. Y'all be sure to stick around. We're gonna talk about championships. It's Baton Rouge, Louisiana, champion town, baby.
Championship.
When you look at the United States map, it's like they go champion town.
That's
right
gonna
there.
be my next topic.
Title town.
We're gonna get on that, and y'all make sure y'all stick around because we'll be joined by Raj Smoove, the greatest DJ in the world. He will be joining us here shortly. Y'all don't go anywhere. It's Inside the Trenches, baby, right here on ESPN Baton Rouge.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Well, hello, somebody. It's the host of Inside the Trenches, Marlon, Big Favorite, and I want to give a big shout out to Dr. Kendra. That's right, our sponsor right here on ESPN. Let me tell y'all something. Man, Dr. Kendra hooked your boy up with the 365 speed and the still body. And when I tell y'all body fat has gone down, I got lots of energy, and that product has really helped me out a lot. It has, throughout my whole blood sugar, you name it. So here's the deal. Visit stillbody.org today, check out her products, and let her know that you heard about them right here on Inside the Trenches with your boy, Big Fave. Watch out there now. Hello.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Well, welcome back, beautiful people. It's Inside the Trenches. It's your host, Marlon, Big Favorite, and I hope y'all enjoying the show. I want to take this time to give a big shout out to Wolfe Construction and Real Estate. 143 Lapalco Boulevard is where you can find them at. If you're looking to get house elevations, renovations to your house, new construction, you name it, you have a house you're trying to get off of, like I'm ready to sell this house, I just don't want it anymore, me and my family's moving to Texas. Whatever your story is, hit the folks up at Wolfe Construction, and you can visit him at robertwolfeconstruction.com. Well, one thing this show is blessed with a lot is good guests, and our next guest is definitely that. From the streets of New Orleans, you think of the music, the sound, and I'm talking about, for me, it's the club life when I was in college, and even as a pro, I always see this tall red guy standing up there, and I'm like, whoa, what's happening? Well, right now, we're joined by the one and only DJ Raj Smoove, the greatest DJ in the world.
Whoa, what's happening?
What's happening, Raj? Y'all
How
make
y'all
sure y'all
doing?
follow him on all the social network platforms at Raj Smoove. Raj, bro, welcome
good?
to the show, man. What's
I
good, brother?
appreciate y'all having me.
Welcome.
Yes,
welcome.
indeed,
Yeah.
man. So I'm gonna just jump to what I've been wanting to talk to you about.
Right.
When the Carter 6 dropped,
Mm-hmm.
I was excited. I thought, like, we ain't got about 9 tracks on here. But then my cousin Neil calls me, bro, did you hear the mix before the Carter 6? Man, I'm talking about Raj Smoove, the greatest DJ in the world.
Right.
Man, him and Fresh put one together. So I go to my Apple Music, I pull it up. Raj, y'all chopped the Wayne songs that ways I've never heard them, and verses I didn't hear.
Yeah.
Man, you and Fresh collabed on that project the week before that. Talk to our viewers about that.
Yeah, I mean, it came together like real quick. Fresh hit me up, told me like his idea for us, that he had a couple of unreleased joints and like remixes that he had. He sent me like a couple of the ideas. I listened to it. I was like, yo, like I got something kind of like in the tuck too. I think I could pull out. And you know, we put it together. Like he sent me like, you know, the little mixes and stuff he had put together. I added some to it, and we just hooked it up. You know what I'm saying? And the Speaker Boys were birthed.
The Speaker Boys, yeah.
Well, brother, this is big for me. It's been a long time coming to get you up here and get you on
For sure.
Get you on ESPN, brother. You're considered and you've been called the greatest DJ in the world, and not just by me, by a lot of people. Two-part question: what does that title actually mean to you? And please, by all means, tell the people where you're from.
Well, second question first, from New Orleans, Louisiana. You know what I'm saying? Gentilly Woods.
Okay.
You know, I also spent some time growing up in Kenilworth, you know, Georgetown Apartments. So, you know, I'm a son of the city, you know. Now, as far as, you know, the greatest DJ in the world thing, like what that means to me, or what that says to me is like people really appreciate what it is that I do. You know what I'm saying? Like that I've had such an effect on people's lives. And, you know, the soundtrack that I've been able to provide to the times, like you said, like when you was in college, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, being able to provide the soundtrack for that, and that, you know, really sticking with folks, like that's what that means to me. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been an integral part of people's lives where they feel like I've really contributed to their path and their experiences. You know what I'm saying? I'm humbled like every time people say that, because like I ain't say that. Like everybody else say that.
I
say you know what I'm saying? Like I'm out in the street with the greatest DJ. Like
the GOAT said
yo.
that.
The greatest co-host said that.
And the greatest co-host too. That's
I
right,
say
man.
that. I stand on that.
But it had to been a moment where you really felt it, and I think I can guess it because you were DJing when you did this. You put that mix to Stevie Wonder. And the crowd erupt, and the way Stevie, that had to have been a chilling moment for you, bro.
Wow. That was like a regular day at the office. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, the fact that it was Stevie Wonder, you know, like Stevie is an icon. He's a genius. He's a legend. And being able to share that stage with him, you know, like it happens so quick because, like, you know, when you're in that moment doing whatever it is you do, like, you know, if you on the field and, you know, you running the plays and you running the routes and you where you're supposed to be, like, you run the same route 1,000 times. You know what I'm saying? And you just got to be sure, like, you know, when that ball come, you where you supposed to be and you catch it and you hold on to it. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I've done that a million times, whether it was with, you know, Fifth Ward Weeby or whether it was with Raw Dizzy or, you know, whoever I might have worked with, whether, you know, if I'm, you know, the times when I was touring and DJing for Wayne, like, you know, you do this day in and day out. So no matter who it is on the other side of the microphone, or who it is on the other side of the huddle, like you ready, you prepared for it, and this is what you do. So when he popped up there, like I'm like, let's go. You know, Stevie's people came up and was like, hey, Stevie want to know if you got some beats. I was like, yeah, I got some beats. Like, you cool if he get on the microphone? Man, tell him, come on. You know what I'm saying? Because already, like, early in the night, he had requested Pete Rock and CL Smooth, they reminisce over you. So I was like, Stevie after my own heart.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? And when I played it, like, you know, everybody, because it was at the Urban League conference, you know what I'm saying? And I played that, like, everybody was like, you know what I'm saying? Hands in the air, rocking to that, you know, to the Pete Rock and CL Smooth. So it was just one of them nights that like we was just hitting on all cylinders.
That's cool. That's pretty cool.
Well, brother, once again, like I said, it's a very special moment for me.
We go back.
My mother's watching right now, and I couldn't help but tell this story because I've literally told this story a million times. So me and Raj Smoove go back really, really far. So
4 decades almost.
Yeah, he comes to my birthday party, one of the last birthday parties I ever had. And
what you made, like, you was like made 9, 10, 11? What
yeah, well, I think I was 7. I think I was 7.
Yeah, it was
because we could just look at the tape and tell.
It was late mid late 80s.
Oh, for sure.
All right,
oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Because he was in
that was a good time.
Yeah, he was in
that
Georgetown at the time, and I was in Skyview.
Mm-hmm.
So, and if anybody know the East, y'all know where that's at. So he comes to my birthday party, and he gives me a Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince tape as a birthday gift. And right then and there, I knew music was going to be a part of his life.
That's fine.
Brother Roger, please tell us, when did you know that music was gonna be a part of your life and you wanted to be a DJ?
I mean, music was always a part of my life. Like I grew up in a musical household. Like my dad is a jazz pianist and
I never knew that.
symphonic composer. So
I
like,
never knew that.
you know, like I grew up with, you know, people coming to the house on Saturday mornings taking piano lessons. So, you know, like I've always been around music. I think when like hip hop first like got in my system was when I saw Beat Street and like, I don't know, it was like 83, 84 when Beat Street came out.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
I
like,
got here in 86, but I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you, though.
but it's like that
No
was like one of
comment.
the early like hip hop movies,
Mhm.
and the hero of the story was the DJ. You know what I'm saying? And like, you know, I was telling somebody this the other day, like Radon Chong was like the love interest. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
She was.
And I'm like Radon Chong in the 80s, like, come on, son.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yo, like, you know, if I'm a DJ, like Radon Chong, like, you know, I might could holler at, you know, a Radon Chong type, and he was like the hero of the story. So that was my first thing, like that was really cool, and I looked up to that. And then, you know, in that time, the DJ was kind of like the main focus. So it was like, you know, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, Cash
Yes,
Money
sir.
and Marvelous. Like the DJ kind of had like top billing. And then like listening to Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, like half of the album would just be Jeff cutting and mixing and just killing it.
Right.
So, you know, live at Union Square, you know, they live in concert and Jeff is like transforming for the first time in front of this, you know, crowd, and everybody's just losing their mind. I'm like, yo, like, I could do that. You know,
Yes,
so
you can, bro.
you know, then after that I was telling the homies in the control room, somebody broke in my house and stole like all of my Nintendo tapes and my Nintendo and everything, like wiped me out. I had like 50 cartridges, you know what I'm saying? Like
Man.
Nintendo was, you know how it
That
was,
was the thing,
bananas.
yeah.
Oh, he had that
Right.
work back then.
So my parents, you know, of course had like insurance and stuff. So when we got the insurance check, I was like, I want to get a DJ mixer. You know what I'm saying? So like I used the money from that to like really kind of like kick off and start the DJ career. And, you know, from that, I just used to be in the bedroom after school every day. Chicka, chicka, chicka. You know what I'm saying?
That's tight. That's tight.
Yeah.
Because it comes so natural to him. If y'all are just tuning in, you listen to DJ Raj Smoove, the greatest DJ in the world.
Oh,
Y'all
boy.
be sure to follow him on Instagram at Raj Smoove and wherever you do your social media. And be sure to check out his number of projects like the one I'm about to talk about right now. To me, for the come up, when I think about when I first started seeing you in like Lil Wayne's videos, that was right around the time we getting into 05, 06, you know, LSU, we rolling at the time. So every weekend, I'm back home, Club Dreams, man, what a place to be. And then
Boy.
in 06, you dropped it. The Lil Louisiana mixtape.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
You got to talk to our viewers, especially these folks here in Baton Rouge who remember this so dearly about that project, brother. What it was like working on it, how did it come together?
I mean, shout out
And
to the
man,
homie Fuke, you know what I'm saying? You know, who used to run with Wayne. At the time, you know, Wayne was talking about doing a new mixtape and was thinking about like, you know, like who should I get to like host the mixtape and put it together, like Drama, you know, whoever. And Fuke was like, man, won't you call Raj? And Wayne was like, yeah, you right. You know what I'm saying? So they hit me up, sent me all the files or whatever. I put my ear on it and mixed it up, and you know, the rest was history. You know what I'm saying? Like after Katrina, like it was a moment. You know. It was a real moment. And it's funny though, when you said like 05, 06, you know, with Dreams, that was kind of like, that was like the third era. Like you missed the whole House of Blues, Soul to Soul Thursday
and
night
guess
run.
And guess what, brother? That was my next question. my brother Roger has touched so many people because he knows and he'll tell you, I'll just stand in the back and I'll just look. And
All the time.
and for years, I've just experienced the vibe. I've just shown up. Brother, you have touched so many people for so long. And I just want to do a service to your older fans. Please, brother, tell us about the House of Blues days.
all right, run it.
Come on.
That was lightning in a bottle. You know what I'm saying? It was a moment in time, you know, just as big as Dreams was.
Okay.
Like, think about that, but in like House of Blues in that larger
Right.
venue size. You know what I'm saying? We used to be in there every week. Folks would be missing class Friday morning. We used to be in there till like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning.
Thursday night.
For me also too, like the music at that time was so amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like, matter of fact, the first time I went in House of Blues was when it was originally they used to do House of Blues on Sunday nights with Fat Rain Man, Big Stand Productions and all that.
Okay.
Sleeping Giant. They were on Sunday nights, and the first time I walked in there, they was playing Nas, Lauryn Hill, If I Ruled the World. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, this is like that's like 96.
95, 96, yeah. You know
what I'm saying? Like, when, you had like Wu-Tang was like really popping, and A-Ball and MJG was in the middle of the day run. Outkast, like you had
CeeLo Green and all of them had
he was still good at it.
Good in
You know what I'm saying?
Good at it.
Like Tila, like in that whole like little era up in there. UGK, like it was one of the golden times in hip hop. So you had that right in conjunction with kind of like the HBCU experience, and New Orleans was on an upswing right before the turn of the 2000s, right up in there. Cash Money was popping. They used to be in the club all the time. You had a lot of other artists from New Orleans that was popping. You know what I'm saying? Like Mac was popping at that time. Like No Limit was doing their thing.
That's right.
There was just so much positive movement going on in the city, and like Soul to Soul, the House of Blues was kind of like a center of all of that. Like, you ain't never know who you was gonna see, because like, also too, like those artists, like tours used to be popping, and they would be doing their runs through like the House of Blues size venues. So it's like, if A-Ball and MJG had a show at House of Blues and we was doing the party right after, like they would stick around and just be hanging out. You know what I'm saying? Or if somebody was in the city, like I remember when Shine was popping, when Bad Boy first dropped, and he came in there with so many diamonds in his watch. Man, like when we played Bad Boy, he performed it, just popped out and performed it, and it was like a spotlight going through the club every time them lights hit his watch.
That's crazy.
And we ran it back like he did it twice. You know what I'm saying?
This was a nice 4-5 year window.
We ran from because I was still at Dilliden.
Right. And
like,
these were the Thursday nights.
These was the Thursday nights.
Stan was at Xavier, right? Am I saying that right?
Stan
he
went
might
to
have just
Xavier.
graduated, or he was.
But he was doing stuff.
Yeah.
Like they had like, I remember that too.
Yeah,
I was
when
young
we got to the
then,
Thursday
but-
nights, it was Stan and Jeff and Duck. So it was like
Right.
Sleeping Giant and Big Stand Productions was doing it together. And I used to be an accountant Friday morning, like trying to hide behind the person in front of me. I was tired because I was the last one to leave.
Right.
But not like, I think I started there spinning. I think they brought Thursdays. It was like 96, 97 when they started the Thursday nights. And I kind of like had to work my way up. I used to be DJing in the restaurant in the back, because like that was kind of like the holding area while the concert was going on in the front. And then when they cleared the concert out, everybody would move from the restaurant to the main club night in the front. So, we got the week, folks was like, man, why don't have you DJing in the front? I'm like, yo, go talk to them over there.
There you go.
Right.
Tell them, them three dudes standing right there, tell them I need to be in the front room. So, eventually I made it into the front room, and we ran all the way up, I think, to like 2003.
Right,
It
Katrina
ran.
and y'all slid down the street in the Dreams. I remember. See, I can remember. See, and that's another thing y'all not mentioning. 96, 97, locally it was jumping too. I mean,
Yo.
Take Four. I mean, the club had the music in rotation. See, it had to be crazy.
I could never argue about any of that. I'm just so grateful to be put in that era and to be able to speak of the times of the House of Blues, of Dreams. Once again, brother, you have touched so many people.
Thank you, man.
You've worked with so many people. To see you with Stevie Wonder, to say, that's my dog, right? And I'm not even going to pretend I'm
went
about to
viral.
sing
That
high.
was
Because when he dropped the beat and Stevie started running with it,
Oh man,
people, please Google DJ Raj Smoove and Stevie Wonder when you finish watching the show.
Just
Hello.
go on my IG, run my IG
Yeah,
numbers up.
yeah.
At Raj
Go on to
Smoove, it's
IG.
all on it. It's pinned to the top.
All these amazing people, my brother. Tell me the one person that you have not worked with that you would like to.
I
Dead
probably,
or alive?
I probably would have to say Jazzy Jeff. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You know,
all
because
right,
that's like,
all right.
you know, like they say, like never meet your idols. And I had a chance to meet him one time. He came down, did something at House of Blues. But like, you know, like he was the one where I was like, yo, like, I really want to do this. You know what I'm saying? Just, you know, a lot of what I did, like I would, you know, try to model my scratches after his and figured out how he did his transforms and everything else like that. You know, like I would love to rock a party with him.
Yeah, because listen, y'all, the way hip hop was born, that's what it is. The DJs still hold a lot of power. I do understand the element of the artist taking over. You know, I know my history and I can remember some stuff from a baby, but like, I mean, it had to be mid '80s to like because LL came in the game, Rakim, and now you started to get more spitters. And speaking of spitter, I know you've worked with Currency before, and him and Lil Wayne, that whole movement, producing for those guys, touring with those guys. What that was like for you?
I mean, it was a great experience. You know, getting to do what I love and travel and get paid for it. You know, when you first have the vision of yourself and what success looks like, and then to be able to achieve that and continue to go farther. You know what I'm saying? Like that's been one of the biggest things that I've been grateful for is that, you know, like, you know, when I used to sit with the headphones on and listen to all of these other DJs and these tracks and like the response from the crowd, and then, you know, to be able to go on a Cash Money Rough Rider tour and to have that experience of like 20,000 people in an arena screaming because I'm doing like some tricks on the turntables, like it's satisfying and it's also inspiring. You know what I'm saying? Because I got, you know, like the initial vision that I had for myself, I was able to make that a reality, and then to take that into, you know, still push that to like, I got to take it farther than here. Like I'm not done yet. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, Cash Money Tour was in 2000. We in 2025, and like I'm not done yet.
Right.
Yeah, and wait, Wes, I think we might have the Stevie.
Oh, he played it. I saw it already.
Oh, okay, all right.
They ran it.
They ran it already.
Them boys good back
cool.
there.
Them boys roll with it.
Them boys good.
One thing I do appreciate about you, Raj, and even with me, like coming up early as needing like special guests in my videos. Raj was in my videos.
Oh, for sure.
You about pulling up, man. You're about,
sure.
I mean, Flag Boy, Courtney Hart. I guess talk to our viewers about working with some of those artists and just what it was like on the management side as well.
You know, seeing my dad mentor and teach so many musicians and artists, you know what I'm saying? You know, like my mom is an artist and a teacher as well, you know what I'm saying? So that has been in my DNA from day one, passing on the knowledge and trying to set up other people to be able to achieve their dreams. You know what I'm saying? Working with people in treating their creativity like I would treat my own. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, all the people that I work with, I always try to make it a point to treat whatever it is I'm working on with them like it's my project. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm invested in what it is that we're doing, what it is that we're trying to make. Because I feel like the more people around me that are successful, the more successful I'm gonna be. You know what I'm saying? Like if everybody around me is a millionaire, chances are I'm gonna be a millionaire too. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if I got it, you know, also like I'm trying to share it to, you know, help other people come up, especially like if it don't cost nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of things that you can do for somebody and it might just be a word. You know what I'm saying? It might just be a little bit of advice or like, hey, I went through something similar. This is what I would suggest that you do and could put you on a whole nother path. And it don't hurt me nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like I already got the oxygen in my lungs. Like, you know, I can share a little bit of that with you, you know what I'm saying, and pass on my experience of something that'll, you know, help you out. Like I want to see everybody win. You know what I'm saying? Because I look at it like we are a team, and I really dislike when folks, try to have that conversation about, all people from New Orleans don't help you and everybody out for themselves. I don't know what New Orleans you living in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Tell 'em.
Because the New Orleans I live in
Right.
has been support, has been love, you know what I'm saying? And, I've tried to be one of the people to initiate it. You know what I'm saying? So like, instead of people feeling like, oh, we're gonna reciprocate the negativity, somebody gotta stop it.
Right.
So if I gotta give somebody, a good pat on the back and be like, yo, like I see what you're doing, keep pushing. You know what I'm saying? If people would call me like, hey, I need some scratches, or, come pass through the video shoot or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, there's a lot of things I can do that's not gonna stop my lights from being on. So, it's all good. You got that. Because if I'm hurting, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even want to have to ask nobody. I want everybody to just be an outpouring of love. Like, Raj, like, we got you. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I've always like looked at it. And I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of amazing artists in the past. Artists that I'm working with now. I'm just happy to be here after deciding I wanted to do this in the 8th grade, and I'm still out here. We outside.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so talking about artists you're working with now, we did mention Flag earlier. What other artists you talking about? And I'm like, CL, I got a 2-part question.
Yeah.
Outside, you produced that.
I did not produce that.
Oh, okay.
That was like Giz and he's gonna kill me. I hate when I draw a blank on names because I'm under the lights, so my memory is bad right now.
Oh, don't feel bad. Hey.
We in the studio, baby. You
Trust me, you're already good. But I got you.
But not like I came into the picture like right after like Outside was done, and Giz was looking for some support and some help with working this project and getting other stuff together. So I'm like, bro, like I'm down because like also like New Orleans is so small. You know what I'm saying?
Very.
And like after Katrina, like me, Dizzy, Trill Will, and B Mike all lived together in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So B Mike, 2 Cent at the time, it was like Giz and,
That's right.
that whole
2
clique.
Cent.
And we all lived, like we all basically moved
JT.
to Atlanta together. You know what I'm saying? We
Right.
lived like in the same apartment complex. Like we had like 2 apartments, you know what I'm saying? They had apartments here and there, you know what I'm saying? Clinton Spa, like, it was a lot of folks. We was all crewed up and like Giz was part of the crew. So like, I've known Giz, for like 15, almost 20 years since that. So, we had that bond. So when he came back around, I was like, yeah, I'm doing music now because he got me to master like his first album because he was getting vinyl pressed up. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So, I did that one. And then when he came around with the second time, and I'm like, who you working with? He was like, man, I just been doing all of this by myself. I'm like, I got you. You know what I'm saying?
real.
Whatever I could do to help, I'm here to help.
That's
you know what I'm
real.
saying? And now he's climbing the ladder and getting to the top of the mountain with the Black Mexican Mardi Gras Indian music mixing with the hip hop, and Giz is doing a lot of different things. You know what I'm saying? He working on programs trying to teach needlework. You know what I'm saying, to the young kids. Just dropped a coloring book, Coloring the Culture. You know what I'm saying, which y'all can get at flagboygiz.com. Make sure y'all check that out.
Right.
And that's the other thing, like, yeah, I DJ, but like I have a whole lot of other revenue streams in the music industry as well. So it's like artists that I work with, I also try to, get them like, yo, like there's other things that you can do within this realm to make money so you don't just have to depend on, people loving what you're doing behind the microphone, because people are finicky. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of rappers come and go, be super hot, fire, die-line, for
Spit
like
hot fire.
6 months and then drop off the map.
Gone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, I try to help use my example of longevity to, show other folks how they can have a long career as well. You know what I'm saying?
Brother, there's probably nobody in this world that is more prouder than you and stand with his chest wide open as a proud peacock. But I would be remiss not to mention about Smooth Fest. And
Yes,
I
sir.
need you to let these people know what's your vision for Smooth Fest.
So, New Orleans is real big on preserving the culture. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of times that culture gets relegated to the jazz and the Dixieland music and like, you know, the traditional jazz music, which we all grew up around, you know what I'm saying? But I come from an era that I don't feel has gotten enough of their flowers where, you know, it hasn't been protected as much. You know what I'm saying? So we've been talking probably for about the last year or two about trying to put together a festival that represents, you know, the era that I love the most. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, now we're trying to, you know, put that together. This is our first year doing it. We're doing Smooth Fest. It's going to be at the Broadside on August 2nd. You know, you can go to smoothfest.com or whatever. We got, you know, the Eventbrite. I think we're going to open up the tickets right after Essence Festival. And, you know, we trying to do like a good party, you know what I'm saying, with some special, you know, pop-outs, you know, a few performances, but really just having a vibe with, you know, some great culture in the space. Like, you know, Giz is going to be showing one of his Indian suits.
Okay.
You know, we got a couple other visual artists that's going to be in the spot, like Cole Young, you know what I'm saying, committed. He's going to come through and show some of his work. We trying to work together something with the New Orleans African American Museum where they can do an activation there. You know, of course, we're going to have like some great food trucks out there, Tangerine, NOLA, and, you know, Johnny's Jamaican, you know, like,
okay.
It's
Tell it right out there, you know.
Gotta eat.
You know, we trying to do something that's gonna speak to that era that, you know, I know a lot of people miss, because we have them conversations all the time. You know what I'm saying? Folks is like, man, it ain't like it used to be, and you know, there's no place for us to go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of play, but it's a whole new dynamic on the club scene now. It's a new vibe, and you know, that's what the kids want now. So like they can have that, you know what I'm saying? But we need to have some spaces for us, you know what I'm saying? For the folks that came in the 99 and 2000.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying?
Come on.
So, you know, this is going to be the first of many years. You know, we were putting together, it's going to be a real dope experience.
That's fire. Man, hey, man, if I can slide on in there, let me know if you need some extra help. Me and Ciara will come right.
Well, I'm gonna be there before all y'all. I'm just waiting for y'all to show up. Me personally, if y'all gonna kill me, y'all know exactly where to find me at.
Definitely.
I do have one more question.
Yeah,
though, brother.
we got time. Go ahead.
So they giving out all these walk stars on the Walk of Fame.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel no way, P, that I didn't get one. But I'm waiting for the Raj Smoove
On the real.
Star Walk on the Fame. What's your thought process about that, my brother?
You know, I was having a conversation yesterday with a close friend of mine. We was talking about like Essence Fest and stuff. And, you know, the basic thing that kept coming up was like, we don't do this for the money. You know what I'm saying? And we don't do it for the accolades either. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't doing this just to get a star. I ain't doing this to get a Grammy. Like I'm doing this because it's what I do. Like it's who I am. You know what I'm saying? I got a gift to share, and I'm gonna continue doing that. You know what I'm saying? So whether I got a star or not, if I got 10 people in front of me appreciating what I'm throwing on and grooving to this music, like that's why I do it. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, like I've touched a lot of people. Pause. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I what I do resonates with folks. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, continually to be able to provide that experience is why I do it. So, you know, look, if they give me a star, I'm going to be out there. You know, I'll be very appreciative. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to post it on the ground.
I'll be
there.
there.
I'm going to bring my kids to come see, like, hey, daddy got a star. You know, but, you know, it's that's kind of like a after effect of duing what it is that you do to the best of your ability.
We got to give you flowers now, my
Yeah,
dude.
we're going to give it to you.
That's what I'm working on, giving you flowers now. Because that after, you know, they letting Pete Rose, taking him off of suspension.
Right.
He dead and gone. Man, I'm not having that, man. Raj Smoove, when you speak about, and I said this, you heard me say this. All right. When you talk about the genre of hip-hop, and you talk about the eras in the time frame, you cannot speak about hip-hop in the genre of hip-hop in the music in the South without speaking Raj Smoove's name.
Yo.
And
that
I
means
stand
a lot
on
to me.
that.
The cool blue like to do on Mars. Ride with a chick prettier than the bars. Boy,
Come on.
That
All right.
Louisiana
Come
pep
on.
was it, boy. I'm telling you. Yes, indeed. And look, y'all, y'all can go right now.
Right now.
Smoothfest.com. Y'all already heard he said he's doing it for the 99 to 2000. I'm looking forward to it. Y'all should do the same thing. Go there right now, smoothfest.com. And look, if y'all want to check that Stevie Wonder performance out again, go to @Raj Smoove on Instagram. Classic. I'm telling
Classic.
you.
But I'm just, it might be Smooth Fest NOLA. I know that go to the IG Smooth Fest NOLA. Follow the IG, and as soon as tickets are live, y'all will be able to.
Is that it,
It's right there on
Marlon?
the
Is
stage,
it?
on the screen. Smooth Fest.
I can't.
All
To the right.
to-
That light. That top right. To the right.
Nah, that ain't.
We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it for y'all.
I think it's Smooth Fest NOLA is
Okay.
the joint, because there's another Smooth Fest with like Afro beats. And
Yeah, that
stuff.
look
Perfect
too
time to
smooth
figure
right
it out
there.
right now.
That's smooth right there. But look,
Come
y'all,
on.
check this out though. Look, go to his IG.
Go to
Get
the IG
information.
Smooth
It's
Fest
on there.
NOLA.
Smooth Fest NOLA. Get that thing. We want to be there, promote it, do our thing.
Well, you know, I was a little late getting to the studio. Right now, it's prime time in New
There we go.
Orleans
There it
right
is,
now.
Smooth Fest.
We got so much going on. We have Essence about to show up. Brother Raj Smoove, the greatest DJ in the world. Please tell us, what do you have going on for Essence
Yes, that's very important.
2025?
All right.
on.
Wednesday, I got the sponsor party at the Fillmore. That's gonna be happening.
I'll be there.
Friday, Freddie King has a scholarship thing that he's gonna be doing at headquarters in the daytime. I'm gonna be there. On Saturday, I'm gonna be at the Jazz Market from like 1 to 4. Then I'm at the Metro for the yearly Insights Marketing all white party. You know, Keisha always do it super big at the Metro. And then that night, the speaker boy is gonna be popping out. You know what I'm saying? Me and Manny Fresh, we got a joint over on Frenchman Street at Maison.
Maison.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sunday, I think I'm gonna be doing the Hennessy brunch.
Okay.
That's still in flux. They trying to find the right
We
spot.
already
for
had
that.
one of the ride schedules this weekend, man. That's
Oh,
what-
yeah. It's right along with the CL NOLA schedule.
Oh, yeah. I'm rolling with y'all. I'm saying where I'm going to be at.
Yeah.
Hey, honey, I'm going to be coming in a little late this
Let me tell
weekend.
you
Might be 2, 3 o'clock.
I want it. And he'll tell you this. I have and this is back in the G. I used to offer to carry his records. It's just that he had so many other cats. You know, shouts out to Cycle World DJs and all them boys.
Yeah.
He already had so many other cats carrying the records. I never even had a chance to carry the records. But he know, I always say, brother, I carry them records for you. That's
It's
how much.
always been 100.
It's always been
Always
100.
been 100.
Well, man, Raj, thank you so much, brother,
Yes, sir.
for coming on the show.
so much, brother.
Raj Smoove, the greatest DJ in the world. Remember,
boy.
y'all make sure y'all go right there on that social media, the Smooth Fest. Go on there, follow that, and also follow him at Raj Smoove. And check it out. And look, we'll see y'all August 2nd at the Smooth Fest, baby, Broadside. Hello. Well, y'all don't go anywhere. We'll be back. We got to talk Big 3. We got to go around the NBA, the NFL. It's Inside the Trenches, baby, right here on ESPN Baton Rouge. Hello, somebody.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Well, welcome back to Inside the Trenches. It's your host, Marlon Big Favorite. We want to give a big shout out to Raj Smoove, the greatest DJ in the world, for joining us. Share some great stories about Lil Wayne, Currency, his time with Cash Money, going on a rough. I didn't know he was on a Rough Rider tour, Cash Money tour.
I forgot to ask him about his. I wanted him to tell his DMX story. We all got a DMX story. I want him to tell his X story.
No doubt, man. So big ups for him for coming on the show. Greatly appreciated. Once again, we want to thank our sponsors for the Conquer Sports Lineman Camp.
Definitely.
Big ups to Falcon Law Firm for their contributions to the camp, along with Triangle Deli, who got 2 locations now. They're over there off of Broad, and they're in Terrytown right off the West Bank Expressway down Terry Parkway. Be sure to go there, get your little bite to eat, get some gas while you're there. Get your sandwich or something like that. Let them
got
know
the
that.
bell peppers on Thursday.
Ooh, I got you a pop with the bell pepper.
Come on now.
Come
there 7 more.
Come on now, I gotta come on at 7 more. You know what I'm talking about? So big ups to them as well. And then we also want to thank Dr. Kendra and Health Nut System.
Thank you, Doc.
Remember, y'all can visit stillbody.org to get some more information on her products. All natural, good for you, good for the body. So as promised, we want to talk about a good conversation. Is Baton Rouge, Louisiana, champion town of the South? Now, I'm not taking anything away from other schools. CL, I know Alabama's had their run with football back in the Bear days and the Saban days. 2 major runs. But I look at LSU in the midst of all of that, like just kind of going through some competitive SEC times, the change up. But for me, it's the versatility in the Tigers, right? We're not just good in football. We're good in basketball, golf, baseball.
Ladies basketball.
Ladies basketball. Shouts out to the ladies Tigers.
Gymnastics.
Golf. Shouts out to my girl Amber Hayes over there at Elite Football Academy. She did beach volleyball out there at LSU. Boy, I'm glad they didn't have me conditioning too much in that sand when I was at LSU. Boy, Lord, it's different here when you got
get it out.
Sand get it out you. But nah, seriously, when you look at this team, Chris, now and it's funny. What's 21 Savage song bank account? I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in my bank. So LSU has 8 national championships now in baseball. Recently, Chris, that did change the game. Your thoughts on LSU baseball arguably being one of the greatest NCAA baseball teams?
And boy, will the recruits will be skyrocketed after their national championship win. They are going to have great recruits coming in, and I'm just excited for not only just LSU baseball, but LSU sports period in the future, for sure.
I don't think the city of Baton Rouge realizes how much the city of New Orleans and surrounding areas love Alex Box Stadium. We all know what it looks like during Tiger Town on a Saturday night during football season.
Yeah.
But has anybody ever checked to look at the parking lot during a baseball game at Alex Box Stadium? It's almost comparable, believe it or not. The level of talent that comes through Alex Box Stadium, and I've always mentioned these gentlemen, Paul Schemes, so many athletes, even today's athletes, Mr. Anderson that threw the no-hitter during the World Series. You can literally see America's next stars, America's next worldwide stars, because of course we know Paul Schemes plays for the Pittsburgh Pirates. You can see America's best talent in the city of Baton Rouge inside of Alex Box Stadium. And when you know that is what is supposed to happen, that is what they want to have happen, and that's what they expect to have happen in Baton Rouge, it hasn't stopped since I was a little boy.
And it is the magic of Alex Box. I mean, we talk about Tiger Stadium, what it feels like also to be at the Pete Maravich Center. It is electrifying in Alex Box. You think of a spring evening in Alex Box, it is a great feeling.
I can just hear it.
Ding! And the crowd going crazy. And the traffic, too. Look, just recently, I had to bring little Marlon up to the youth camp for LSU. Well, the next day, I had a lot of my athletes that we train shoot over there to that next day, that Saturday. They had like 44 high school 7-on-7 teams out there, but they also had the World Series going on, so LSU was there too. And I talked to some of my clients, they felt like it was football season. It could get wild.
In the middle of June.
For me, Chris, it's the reloading of LSU. You talked about Cade Anderson. You also spoke about what's my boy name? Iverson.
Anthony. 24.
20, yeah.
Yep.
Then you have Chase Shores coming there and he was the closer.
He was.
He's a sophomore.
Right.
From Midland, Texas. So it's what we have on the roster, and to y'all point, what they're doing in the transfer portal that's really sticking out like a sore thumb to me. Real quick too, guys, just to kind of rattle off for the baseball team. Skip Bertman, 1-5. You had 1 in 07, and you had the 2 just now by Jay Johnson. You do have to tilt your hat to Scott Woodward.
Yes, sir.
LSU's AD, just being able to.
I was just about to say his name too.
In this time frame, right, look, Chris?
Absolutely.
I mean, just in a small time frame, you had 2019
LSU National Championship football.
Then we turn back around and we go basketball.
Women's championship.
Women's championship.
Yep.
Then we go
gymnastics.
Gymnastics.
Yes.
Baseball
twice.
and twice. So it's just in just such a small time, and then just the different eras being able to stay relevant. Chris, a lot of SEC teams can't say they do it across the board like that.
No.
We know where we at. They know where we at. They understand. We understand. There's not a lower level of proudness that the state of Louisiana holds for LSU. We understand that's our only Division I school, and they represent us very well. Nationally ranked. I mean, they still might be taking Jell-O shots in Omaha right now.
On the cool.
Like, for real. Like, I'm not joking. So it's already understood. It's already expected. Now all these young men and young ladies have to do is just fulfill their dreams. And in the past 10 years, that's all that's been happening. We've all been dreaming.
And I mean, let's have that conversation about how LSU is able to consistently do it. I mean, it really all boils down to just the essence of the city, right? You're not that far from New Orleans. So for the people from down south that's like, man, I got to go to Mardi Gras. You're an hour away. One of your teammates stay in Algiers or Metairie. You know what I'm saying? 45 if you drive like Chris in his old school. But you still have that. And then LSU still being able to get all of these great athletes to come through. And you got an Oregon out there with unlimited funds. You got Texas right there. So why LSU? Right? Okay, well, we may not be able to give you $4 million. We can give you $2 million, but you're going to be right down here in Baton Rouge, and you're going to be able to experience this, and you'll be able to win games. And, you see all the amount of players that we have going to the NFL. So it is impressive to see them carry on. So just to talk about it, y'all, all the greatness of LSU when you start looking at championships, guys winning awards too, as individuals as well. So we got the 8 national championships, right? We got 4 national championships for football. So you got 8 for baseball, 4 for football, and 58 back in the Billy Cannon.
Billy Cannon.
03, Scholar Green, guys. 07, it's us meeting the Demetrius Birds of the world. And then Joe Burrow, Justin Jefferson, all in 2019. So the beautiful thing is, at least that LSU dominated in the 2000s. You can't say it wasn't in the 2000s or the 2010s or going into the 2020 era that LSU dominated. Then you go on to the women's side. We think back to the Final Four days with Tamika Johnson and Simone Augustus and that crew. And then LSU winning the national championship in 2023 under Coach Kim Mulkey. And you think of big Final Four runs. We talked about the ladies' side, but what about Tyrus Thomas and Big Glenn Davis and Tasman Mitchell, Garrett Temple? Those guys, they had an amazing run as well in terms of Final Fours. Big names like Shaquille O'Neal, Pistol Pete. So I mean, you could just keep on going. I see
Pete Maravich.
Never to forget the great Chris Jackson.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, I didn't want to mess his other name up, but if this is a Baton Rouge channel, we all know who Chris Jackson is and what he did for LSU.
I can't. I know it's something with an M. I can't think of it right now, but I mean,
Pistol
just a solid
Pete
brother.
Maravich.
Yeah, we talked about Pistol Pete.
Stromile Swift.
I didn't think about that yet. And even just the countless
top five draft pick in the NBA.
Yeah, the countless Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
Hey, Ben deserve his credit.
Right,
and Cam Thomas.
If you can go to the league and can't shoot, that's just a credit to his point guard ability. He's a great point guard.
Yeah.
The list can go on. And of course, men's golf, track and field. I mean,
track and field. Wow, we didn't give no credit to track and field because when I came up, LSU track and field was just everything.
Serious,
so I apologize, Baton Rouge. LSU track and field does need to be mentioned.
While we're talking about LSU and how good the baseball team looks, they have a good chance of repeating. As long as we have Coach Kim Mulkey, I think our girls, Flaugier, comes back. They have an opportunity to compete. She's coming back.
One more year.
Because it was kind of a back and forth.
Baby.
I mean, why? Let's talk about that. For women's basketball players, why leave?
Right.
I mean, here's the thing, and I mean, it's even starting to get to a point with the NFL as well. It's like, what's the big rush? Take your time. What's the rush? Right?
My mama watching. Hi, Mom.
Because here's the thing. The discipline of a Glenn Dorsey. I sat there and watched Glenn stare $20 million down a barrel, turned around, came back to LSU, and won a national championship. So we know that day is gone. With that being said, I mean, we're in the day of the NIL babies. So what's the rush? Why rush and go pro to go fourth round, and then now you're making less, probably $100,000, $200,000 less in the NFL versus.
Million less.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's for the big dogs. like Caleb Williams was talking about going back. You saw Shamar Smith, like, I'll just go back. I mean, some type of way we can lawyer this thing out. You know, I'm a first-round draft pick, and I can't sign this contract. So it's just like, to the Flaugiers of the world, why rush into the WNBA? You're much more popular playing at LSU. You'll get more eyeballs on you here. And then, I mean, next year she'll probably be one of the first people off the board.
Oh, definitely. And
Absolutely.
I always want to give this young lady her credit because I call her Floje Johnson. And I do remember that she gave $5 million of her own money.
Real rap.
She dedicated that last year. So just the character of LSU sports members speaks volumes because she didn't have that to do. And you talking about a college student that refuses to go to the NBA and stays in college and still donates a large amount of money like that. That needs to be said, not just one time.
It's real. If y'all just tuning in, we're talking about the greatness of LSU town, baby, the Baton Rouge town. And Southern has won some championships as well, some SWAC championships, and as well as Bayou Classics.
Shouts out.
That's one thing that all football players and football fans love is that weekend where we play Arkansas and then they take on Grambling and Southern play. So that's always something pretty good to look at. Before we wrap this segment, guys, I want to talk about the current LSU football team. I know earlier we mentioned how LSU could potentially be in the conversation. And if we're just judging off of the last few years under Coach Kelly, it's like, man, we're good but not good enough, right? We're one game away from going to the college playoffs. And, man, if we get in there, we're going to make some noise. But it's just when you look at areas of concern, Chris, for LSU, we talked about the speed in the receiving core. We mentioned Nussmeier as one of the top quarterbacks coming back. And this is for both of y'all. When you look at this LSU's football team, what do you think the weak link is for this team? Which group, if any?
Okay. I will go with maybe like when they play like mobile quarterbacks, like the edge rushers and things of that nature. Like they tend to struggle, like against Texas A&M last year, Marshall Reed.
Yes, sir.
They struggled against him. They struggled against Jalen Murrow. They struggled against DJ Lagway. My goodness, they struggled against mobile quarterbacks, and I would like to see them do a better job containing those mobile quarterbacks this year. Yeah, that would be my.
That's a great point. See, because I was in that storm, that double storm, that monsoon, the rainstorm, and the storm of Jalen Murrow that night. Matter of fact, that was my birthday. So yeah, I went through it that night. But my big question mark for LSU is that offensive line. Unfortunately, last year, to a man, I feel that the offensive line didn't really show up like we thought they would last year. So I think the onus is on them to show up in a big way this year. So my big question is about the offensive line as a unit, not an individual star, not two bookends, but as a unit. My question is the offensive line.
Yeah, I think y'all both made pretty good points about areas that, like, man, I'm really worried about this group going into the season. I mean, you look at the offensive line, you got two top-tier offensive linemen going off the edge. Then you have some really good guys like Miles Frazier, who's now drafted, and he's in Detroit now. So we lost some draft picks, right? Now you do get DJ Chester coming back. Paul, Mambinga, I think I said it right. He'll probably get that right for me.
Pause.
Yeah, it does kind of like, it's like I see where you go with that one. Shouts out to the West Bank, Tyree Adams.
Oh, for sure.
He's holding it down. I think he's going to be somebody.
He went to my high school, went to school with him.
That's right, y'all Og boys. That's right. So your classmate is going to handle his business. But I have an area, but it's more of a scheme that's a concern for me. Harold Perkins' first year at LSU, that freshman year
was amazing.
Amazing. I mean, the reason he's still in the conversation for all these awards right now, I do think he did mature as a player, but in terms of play, that Harold Perkins, how could we get him back in that form when he was the most dominant? He wasn't the most dominant dropping back in the coverage. He wasn't the most dominant, flanking out and covering even a slot receiver or what have you. His deal is you don't know where he's at. You don't know where we have him blitzing from. And his ability, it was Tyrann Mathieu 2.0. Another St. Aug guy, right?
Yep.
And I look at it they answered your question with Jack Pyburn from Florida. Then you got Florida State and Patrick Payton.
I like him.
So those guys are coming off the edge. We've seen it. They're proven. We've seen them work. I think Ahmad Bro and Dominique McKinley are now mature enough. They've got thrown in the fire. And we have depth. Okay, D-line is fine. O-line, I get it, Chris. If there's anything I'm going to say, yeah, I'll say the O-line. Receiving core, you have kind of like the baseball team. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And you got 9 players that can actually play. I'm gonna go on a limb and say 7 can really touch. I think Tyron Francis, man-child from from Edna Call, could sneak on the field. Xavier is a big returning.
Yeah.
And if Chris said sneak, he don't know if he's sneaking. You got Destin Hill, Fat, another call guy. This is loaded with West Bankers. Aaron Anderson.
Yep.
You go to the portal and you get Barron Brown, the fastest guy on college football.
Sleeper. My
Come on now.
SEC sleeper.
So all of that's fine. I think Ashton Stamps has enough. He's coming back as one of the top corners in the league. They got him projected to go first round next year just off of his coverage. It was number 2, corner in the SEC last year in terms of percentages. He handled his business. I thought, Coach, you bring in the kid Delane and Cooley. So you do what you have to do. My thing is how we're going to use Harold Perkins. That's my big deal. All right, y'all. Y'all don't go nowhere. We got much more to talk about. We got to talk Big 3 with Ice Cube. We be clubbing? That's indeed. We're going to get into a little bit of that. Talk some Pelicans, right? I think they did pretty good in the draft. According to the outfits of my co-hosts in here, I think they did pretty good in the draft. We're going to talk about them, and if we have a little bit of time, we're going to go around the NFL and talk about a few things. It's Inside the Trenches, baby, right here on ESPN Baton Rouge. Hello, somebody.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Inside the trenches.
Dentro de las trincheras.
Inside the trenches.
Well, welcome back, beautiful people. Time does fly when you're having a good time. We're here on this beautiful Monday in beautiful uptown New Orleans, right here in the Loyola studios here on ESPN Baton Rouge. Shouts out to our ESPN Baton Rouge family for picking up Inside the Trenches pod a few months ago. I know that
Thank
a lot
you.
of y'all may have heard this, but ESPN New Orleans abruptly had to end, and you know, I just want to reiterate how much we appreciate them picking up Inside the Trenches. So I wanted to relive my hoop dreams on this last segment.
Come on.
And talk about basically the big three, the Pels, and if we have a little time, I want to go around the NFL. But before I do that, I do want to thank all of our sponsors. Once again, big shout out to Robert Wolfe Construction and Real Estate. Remember, if y'all looking to get y'all houses elevated, or you just need some light construction, you can hit them up at 504-393-2445. Big shout out to Health Nut System, Dr. Kendra, for all that she's done for the show as well. Look, if you're looking to, y'all see that? Ooh, yeah, y'all see that? Y'all looking
Family
to get
channel.
Right. Y'all hit up Dr. Kendra. Y'all can go to stillbody.org and check out her products. And while you're at it, purchase it, and you can go ahead and send her an email until you heard about her right here on Inside the Trenches. All right, fellas, the Big Three. I was watching it this weekend. Shouts out to Lance Stevenson. He crossed somebody up and, did his thing.
Crazy Lance.
Commercials was pretty nice, and I see Monster energy drinks, a big sponsor. And from one brother to another, being an entrepreneur isn't an easy thing, especially when you're going up against giants. So
Conglomerates.
Big ups to Ice Cube, man, for what he has done so far with the Big Three. They're still standing. I heard he had an opportunity to get with Caitlin Clark. That was almost a deal.
$5 million.
$5 million. But she decided to go to the WNBA. But that was a conversation that would have definitely did some major things for the league. So my question for my panel here is, do you think Ice Cube should consider bringing a Big Three team down here to New Orleans? Y'all feel free to at Big Fave 504. He's at CL NOLA and La Chris.
Drop it in the comments.
Yeah, drop it in the comments. I'll be sure to do that. Y'all drop it in the comments here on YouTube. Hit us up, DM us, let us know what you think. Think it'll be a good idea if Ice Cube brings team down here to the NOLA?
Baby, y'all already know how I feel about that. I was at the Xavier Complex when he did bring down the Big Three, and he just gave us a preview. Now, I wasn't able to, I was courtside, but I wasn't close enough to get the cube to let him put that bug in his ear. That, of course, we need a team in New Orleans, Louisiana, especially since the UFL phased out the New Orleans Breakers.
That's right.
You're right.
We definitely need a Big Three down here, because who hosts a better party? Who hosts a better tournament? So maybe if we can't even get the team, the actual New Orleans team down here, maybe we host the tournament for the playoffs for the Big Three.
That's not a bad idea.
They'll call us the Big Beignet if they want. But we definitely need a team. What you say, C?
So hold on, that's the name you came up with, the Big Bean.
I mean,
the beignets.
I remember if Coach Moore bring the tush push down, I done renamed it the beignet push. So
That's
funny. We just gonna keep that beignet thing going.
What you say, little Chris? You think New Orleans is built for a Big Three?
I mean, if I gotta be real, like, what's better to party at a city than New Orleans? There's a reason we have a lot of Super Bowl appearances here, if I'm not mistaken, like 11 or 12.
12 now.
Good point.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
12.
So, hey, Ice Cube, Big Three, come down here, because there's no better party city than down here. That's all I gotta say.
And of course, I'm in favor of it. I would like to see what venue they would use, or like a UNO, or maybe Xavier.
Yeah.
Last time
More than likely, that
HBCU.
would be great. Yeah, to use Xavier, that could be like their court. So I think that would be cool. Right now, you have Boston, Chicago, Dallas, Detroit, and you have that DMV area as well with DC, Maryland, Virginia, Houston, LA, and Miami. Why not add a New Orleans? I mean, they would probably add like maybe a New Orleans and another Florida team, maybe like in Tampa or something. But Ice Cube, if you're watching Inside the Trenches, my brother, come on and make your way on down to the NOLA
culture,
and add another
music.
team. I think it'll be right. Speaking of NOLA and teams, right? It looks like we had ourselves a draft this past week. The Pelicans did exceptionally well.
Absolutely.
In the draft, in my opinion. Y'all see CL with the Birdman rub. So you know what that means. He's ready to go ahead and let this subject rip. CL, I mean, I think based off, I'm going to just say the first two picks were impressive. Your thoughts on your New Orleans Pelicans in this year's draft?
First of all, I want to thank Miss Benson for having the vision to bring in a hometown boy, hometown man like a Joe Dumars, originating from Shreveport, Louisiana. I also want to shout out the GM, the true GM of the New Orleans Pelicans, Mr. Joe Dumars, who had the vision of bringing in a Mr. Fears to handle that point guard situation for us while we let Murray get healthy. To have the vision, to have not just the vision, the wherewithal to trade back up into the first round. Even though we had 2 picks in the first round, we had 7 in 23. We traded to get to the number 13 spot to get a Mr. Queen. And don't take that name very lightly, because in my opinion, besides him not jumping out the gym, he's a right-handed Zion. But we'll see. We'll see. And just as the wire wave, as the ESPN ticker hits on the bottom of your screen, we have brought over a Kayvon Looney, which is our big man we've been waiting to have, which is our rim protector we've been waiting to have. So if you ask anything about me in the New Orleans Pelicans in the draft and what we've done, we have addressed all needs, starting and reserve, and we have addressed the rim protection. So I am very uplifted. I am very motivated to see what this season is like with the New Orleans Pelicans.
Talk to me, Chris. That draft, bro. You were impressed as well?
Yes. Jeremiah Fears.
Mr. Fears.
Ooh, he's athletic. He's a good scorer. Pull up midi. Oh my goodness. He could play defense as well. That was a great draft pick. And then you talked about Mr. Queen as well. Man, great. And then the addition of Joe Dumars, that was big. So I am definitely high on the Pelicans too. And let's not forget about Jordan Poole. 20 point per game score with one of the worst teams in the NBA last year, the Washington Wizards. We add him to the roster now, along with Zion and Trey Murphy and Herb Jones and House Alvarado. If this team can stay healthy, I think they can make some noise this upcoming season. Absolutely.
Let's take a look at it, right? All right, your starters. This is including injured, right? You have DeJounte Murray, Jordan Poole, Trey Murphy, Zion, Yves Missy. That's your starting 5. Your bench is Fears, Jordan Harkins, Mekhi Peavy, which we just drafted him out of Georgetown, Herb Jones, Derek Queen. I mean, that's straight, y'all.
Kevin Looney.
You got Kevin Looney.
Kevon Looney. I'm sorry, Mr. Looney.
You got me saying
welcome
Kevin.
to New Orleans. Just your first day, baby.
Kevon Looney, not an I, right?
Right.
And then you basically what I'm saying is, man, this team has depth.
Yes.
Good depth.
Yes.
I mean, the starters, you have a veteran in Jordan Poole and Murray. Trey Murphy can go there now. You know, the only guy that don't really have a lot of team playing time is Yves. So I really feel like moving forward, y'all, the Pelicans could make some noise in the West. Now, this is a competitive West. I thought Houston got better. In the bring it on. They brought on KD.
I don't think they got better.
So
it could either be a push or they got worse. Because I don't think adding a 34-year-old.
He should be 37. 38.
He's about to turn 37.
I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't think a almost 40-year-old journeyman closer is the thing to add to that nucleus of that used to be young nucleus in Houston. But that's just my opinion. We'll see.
I mean, this is my whole thing, y'all. I'm not mad at the Aaron Rodgers deal.
No.
I'm okay with a veteran brain that can still move around. Now, it is mid to high risk. Right, Chris? Chris, we got about a few more minutes left on the show. Is the Pelicans a force to reckon with in the West now that this roster looks like it's shaping up to something? Because, I mean, we were at the bottom. Now, listen, we got to give Joe Dumars an opportunity to kind of come through and fix this thing up. But what's your thoughts?
Man, if this team can stay healthy throughout the course of the season, and Willie Green, just do your thing, man. That's all I gotta say. Willie Green, Joe Dumars, Pelicans roster, stay healthy, do y'all thing. Play-in tournament, do y'all thing in the play-in tournament. We'll see what happens in the playoffs.
Well, y'all, this has been a great show. Big ups to Raj Smoove, the greatest DJ in the world, for coming through.
Oh boy.
Shed some light on some of the things he got coming on. Remember, y'all, make sure y'all go to his page at Raj Smoove and go ahead and get that Smooth Fest. Get your tickets, smoothfest.com.
Selling out.
They selling out. It's right down here at the Broadside deal off of North Broad.
Yeah, on Broad.
Right down Broad. You can't
Cross
miss
some
it.
AutoZone.
That's right. It is right there.
Right next to the movie theater.
They got a lot of good eats around there too. But
Like a dog.
like a dog. So y'all be sure to check that out. And big ups once again to the Falcon Law Firm, Triangle Deli, for their contributions to our lineman camp with Conquer Sports.
Thank you, guys.
Shouts out to Robert Wolfe Construction and Real Estate. Also big ups to Health Nut System, Dr. Kendra, and
you,
Conquer
Doc.
Sports Pros. Well, look, y'all, we'll be back next week. Same time, 6:30, same spot right here on ESPN Baton Rouge's YouTube. For the studio, shouts out to my man Taylor Gang in the building, Damian. Shouts out to Wes, UP Spin, CL NOLA, baby, in the building.
Yes.
Look, the greatest co-host in the world.
Oh, boy.
My man, Lil Chris.
We gonna run with that.
And big ups to y'all, too, man, for tuning in. And I appreciate y'all from the depths of our heart.
Thank you so
And
very
look,
much.
y'all have a great week. It's Inside the Trenches, baby, on ESPN Baton Rouge. Hello.